Hi everybody, I'm Fred Thomas and you are watching another episode of All Things Bike, a new program dedicated to the bicycle, the culture of the bicycle, and the people and the organizations that make the bicycle community roll here and away. We have a great show for you. We are talking with Dereck Treadwell, runner, cyclist, coach, and founder of Treadwell Training. Dereck, welcome to All Things Bike.
Stoked to be here.
And it's great to have you here. You are a legend. I mean, I can't believe how many legends I've met in the past 24 hours, and you are one of them. You are you are known mostly for some great cycling triumphs, but also for running. You were a successful track athlete. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I guess I started athletics as a runner. Well, I grew up in like rural northern Maine, so everyone starts as a baseball, basketball, other sports. But I ended up matriculating to running, I guess. And then by my senior year of high school, I had kind of enough success. I think I was at state record in the 800 at that point. So I was able to, to run Division I and kind of built from there.
Wow. So, when was your Forrest Gump moment? That moment when you really knew that you could run?
It probably wasn't until I was in college till I even associated that I think it kind of built to a lifestyle enough. Maybe my sophomore and junior year in college even.
Right. And you made the switch to cycling. Was that a recent switch or?
No, I ran for a number of years, and then had some success in college and the Olympic trials and things like that. That basically opened some doors to run after college, and then good and bad, with everything. Lots of injuries and lots of great moments too, and then basically transitioned. The bike has always kind of been part of my life, even as a as a 15, 16-year-old, I had a mountain bike, raced my old stump jumper. And,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and then during injury from running, I would actually, when I was living in Palo Alto at the time, I would jump in this, I had an old cyclocross bike, and I would jump in the group rides, these Wednesday Hammerfests. And, these are pretty legit group rides. They're some of the local pros and like guys like Chris Horner.
Yeah, and they all had road bikes too. Right?
Yeah, and they were, so it was always kind of hanging on until we finished on like Kings Mountain Road, which is kind of a famous climb in the area, and I can just kind of have these moments of being like, it just kept selecting and be like 3 of us at the end, right?
That was your Forrest Gump moment on a bike.
Right. But still very focused on running at that time.
Well, you've had some great triumphs, on the bike that have probably informed your move into coaching. Let's talk first about the Mount Washington campaigns that you are known for.
Oh, well, I mean, I've done it a few times. I enjoy going uphill. I think that's maybe the running background as well. You just kind of kind of time trial going uphill.
This is for an hour, though, right?
It's an hour, yeah. Have you done it?
I haven't. I mean, I'm pretty good at thinking up excuses on how to avoid it. But maybe this year. Should it be this year? I'm ready. I want to do it.
It's okay. It'd be good for you. You'd do very well at it.
But you guys are growing up really quick, and it's hard. But I imagine the feeling that you get when you're done is one of tremendous accomplishment, and then people come up to you and say, "How did you do that?" Is that how the coaching things got going? Do you think?
Well, I've been coaching, basically full time for almost 14 years now.
I see.
I was at a college for 9 years. I coached high school in between, while I was still running, and then once I transitioned, I was coaching at a college, full time. Cross country and track, and we developed a cycling team and a triathlon team as well. And even when I was coaching full time, I started working with cyclists consistently. But I would keep keep that number at like 10, 8 to 10 with the number of athletes at the college, which was manageable, and still provide people with that.
Right. So, but now you have clients,
Yeah.
cycling
Yeah.
athletes all over the place. Can you describe them and describe what they seek from you and how you meet their
Yeah. I feel like the number of the range of abilities and well, I mean, the amount of time an athlete can put into the training and how much of their lives it can kind of absorb.
Yeah,
right. Varies.
Yeah.
I have a few athletes that they're good masters athletes that they need to figure out how to make it work and be successful off 8 hours a week.
Yeah.
And then I work with a few kind of pro Cat 1 pro athletes that they have 20 hours. They can build their lifestyle around the training and can kind of make that work. And how do you maximize that from the other direction of being like, whoa, we need to manage fatigue levels now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of time, and I mean, what are the technologies that you would, or the technologies that you would recommend for some of your athletes?
Yeah. Well, I think obviously a power meter that are really coming to the forefront in the last decade.
That's right.
Massive. I mean, you
both
know that, and working together, and I think that power meter, it provides a very good connection between the athlete and coach.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
And are you asking the athlete to send the power meter file over, and they send it over, and you look at it, and
Absolutely.
wow. I mean, what can you tell? I mean, what can you see? I mean,
well, I mean, it quantifies a number of things, which is great. I mean, you can tell how above and below. Kind of use like baseline of a threshold, or FTP is what the language of it all.
Right.
Yeah, and it just shows these variances in intensity. It shows the amount of work that has been done or is being been done. It shows this compounded level of fatigue from various workouts. Kind of based on an athlete's current fitness level.
Right. So then you can really step in for the guy who's got 20 hours a week and say, look, man,
we need
you're at hour 18 and it's only Thursday.
Well, and you've had 3 weeks of doing this, and and the nice thing is I do think a lot of people get almost too involved in the numbers, and coming from a running background where you don't have all those metrics,
that's right.
you kind of look at it a little differently as well. I feel like
that's a great point. I mean, running you can't have a power meter, maybe a heart rate monitor, but what are the trends then? Are there any new trends in coaching that are identifiable or that you can talk about?
Well, in terms of I think in terms of really the individual coaching aspect is where I feel like it's been going for a while. Is that kind of?
I mean, if anything, it sounds like coaching is becoming more of a requisite tool. I mean, everybody needs an external force to guide them on whatever goal they have.
Yeah.
I mean, on that. Sorry, do you have any goals in terms of races or the company for the next 12 months?
I still compete, myself quite a bit in terms of, I mean, it's getting to be that time of year where athletes are kind of getting into the racing season, right? You're getting out of the part of the season that is controlled, So it's always interesting, that transition where like everything up until now has been very controlled, and the athlete is very able to control. So now you're stepping into this environment that's completely uncontrolled, but racing, but it's just completely uncontrolled, especially road racing.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's always interesting that
Yeah, no, that's right. It goes from very organized to the exact opposite, and
it's like a switch has to.
It is a switch, but it's essential, I think, to have a coach to say, okay, you have a race coming up, you don't need to train so hard.
Absolutely.
You want to turn out rested and relaxed, and that's the goal. Well, are you going to do Mount Washington this year? Is that on the agenda?
I don't know. I think I'm going to be doing some traveling kind of out west for some of the bigger mountain bike races. there's a race called Pierce Hole in Wyoming I've been wanting to do, and then Leadville is the week after that. I may do that this year, and then Breck Epic is the following week. So I think it's going to be a pretty big block of of racing in there.
Leadville 100. I think you'll be ready, having done Mount Washington so many times, and it's great. Yeah. It sounds like if I were a coach, I would be saying I'd be saying, try something new, try something different. You know, Mount Washington's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Try something out in Wyoming.
Yeah, I think absolutely. And you know, I think what happens with a lot of athletes, and myself included too, is, you know, you start to build these expectations, and you know, you kind of go to the same events, and if you know, and suddenly like a third, which is a great result in some of these events, you know, isn't, you know, maybe what you wanted.
Doesn't inspire.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, Dereck. Well, thanks so much for coming down, and the best of luck at the races, and we will talk again soon. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. That was Dereck Treadwell of Treadwell Training. If you would like to know more about Dereck's service and what he provides, you can find him on Facebook, Dereck Treadwell, and you can reach out to him on email, treadwelltraining1@gmail.com. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.